So, good morning, everyone. I am Jessica Koch, and this is Profound Professionals, my interview series where I feature amazing authors, CEOs, and industry professionals all across the country, and actually sometimes all across the globe. So, today I have the honor of being with Profound Professional Marci Kreamer. She is an energy advisor for Energy Select, and we are both members of the St. Mary's County Chamber and many other organizations. But I just want to say good morning and thank you for being with me today. Marci, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Good morning, and thank you for this opportunity. And it's an honor to do this with you.
Oh, it's just so fun. I think really I get to be the one that wins here because I get to learn and hear all the amazing stories and journeys and really just get to know people better. And not just average people, really amazing people doing wonderful things in their career as well as in the community. So I think this is, double wins and triple win because we get to share it with everyone who's watching. And so thank you for watching. Marci, why don't we start with just tell us a little bit about you. So where are you from, and just a little bit about what you'd like to share with us about your past and your getting started roots.
Okay, great. So I graduated from Calvert High in Colbert County and went on to Towson University. I studied nursing, and that's also where I met my husband. But eventually, I decided that I wanted to take a different path, and my husband and I moved back down to my hometown in Southern Maryland. Mm-hmm. And but we did live in Baltimore for a bit, and then we came down here. We raised two sons, and they have given us wonderful grandchildren who I'm missing quite a bit right now. Yeah. I was a successful realtor for a number of years in Calvert County. And then I moved to opening a family business called Chesapeake's Bounty. I ran the storefront. It was with my dad. Everybody that was in the family ended up working there at some time or another. And my sons also were pretty much raised working in that business. They were forced labor, I must say.
We won't advertise that. Nobody watching. They're all raised good now.
No, they were here, they'd be going, yep. Just a side note, I have a background in community theater and musical performing. I was in several folk music groups over the years, and I play guitar and sing and play the dulcimer. And then while I was at Chesapeake's Bounty, we sponsored this, but I founded it and was the director of the Chesapeake Players Dulcimer group. And we performed at no cost for local nonprofits in Calvert County. Wow. So then the business, Chesapeake's Bounty, I ran that for 13 years. I went to Longwood Gardens in Pennsylvania and studied ornamental horticulture, brought that information and used that in the business. It was a big help.
What did Chesapeake's Bounty do? I remember it, but I don't remember what.
Well, it's grown tremendously. My son now has a second store in North Beach. In Calvert County, I would say it's famous. But he sells, live, fresh seafood or organic meats and vegetables, plants, flowers, cheese.
Where is it exactly located?
It is on St. Leonard Road.
On St. Leonard Road, okay.
Yeah, I don't have the exact address.
That's fine.
Yeah, he won a Green Award for Sustainable Agriculture. Anyway, it's very interesting. He took it to a whole nother level than Pop and Mom had it at.
Well, we'll make sure we have links in the comments below and in the description of this video so that people can find the locations and even a little bit about the establishment itself. That's fantastic that your entrepreneurial spirit kind of traveled through your family. Yeah. And so where did you go next? Look at all your talents, all these things I didn't know. I love it when there's all these secrets about people I've known for a while, but I just didn't know about them. That's really cool.
Well, while I was there, this was a lot of fun. I did a I was featured on a TV show. I did a couple of shows with it was a show called Gab with Elisa, and it was in St. Mary's County with MetroCast. So it's quite a few years ago. And that concentrated on gardening, and that was a lot of fun. That's my TV experience besides this today.
A movie star, a musician, and a business tycoon. Like, I had no idea the caliber of person I was interviewing today. I mean, you were special, but wow.
Well, I should call it a comedy show. I have the shows, their MetroCast is no longer viable, but we had it was live, and we had some hiccups that were pretty funny.
Well, I would love to get some of that footage and add those. I could upload them to YouTube. We could add those so people could see them later. We'll have to talk about that offline.
I can be brave.
Oh, no. Sounds like fun to me.
So then my next venture was as general manager of a cemetery in Calvert County.
Oh, that's tough work. And
yeah, that was almost 10 years. And I really honed my networking skills, believe it or not, in that job. Mm-hmm. I joined whatever I could join, Calvert Chamber of Commerce. I was very involved with that. I ended up being on the Calvert Hospice board for 6 years. I also was on the Office of Cemetery of Oversight, Maryland Office of Cemetery of Oversight Advisory Board. So I trek up to Baltimore every so often. And that was an appointment by the Secretary of Labor and Licensing. And at the cemetery, cemeteries for the living, So we did, I think maybe 2 or 3 butterfly releases in conjunction with Calvert Hospice at the cemetery. Numerous chamber business after hour events. We did a lot of events, or I did. I ran those events. And then we had a remembrance ceremony for the local firefighter and EMS that we did every year. It's quite beautiful. And we designed and built a huge memorial for the fallen heroes. And one of the firefighters, his name is Mike Bowen, he went up to New York City and met with his fellow brothers, firefighters, and they gave him a piece of the World Trade Center. And he brought it back down, and we designed a special place for it on a smaller piece of granite right there in front of the memorial. And that was really cool. So
very cool. Gonna make me cry.
Yeah, if I went into depth, you probably would cry.
Yeah.
But eventually I decided to follow the light, so to speak, and go to work for Energy Select. And everything that in my zigzag path, I mean, not everybody has a straight path. I certainly had a zigzag path, but it all came together to help me be the best I can be at Energy Select. So Energy Select is a full service energy consultant and commercial electrical contractor. The president of the company, James Horskamp, he had advertised for the job, and he advertised that he wanted someone to help him grow his business. And because I had really been involved in business development my entire working life, that really intrigued me, because I knew one thing. I knew that I like to help a business grow. It's challenging, it's exciting. And so now we have 20 employees. We service the Tri-County area. When I started with Energy Select, there was myself and 3 crew. So it's 4 years later, and like I said, we have 20 employees.
That's fantastic.
Energy Select was awarded the Small Business of the Year for Calvert County and for St. Mary's County. We're very proud of that. So our solar division not only installs solar panels, but we also install ground mount and pole mount systems. And not every solar company does all 3. And with our company, you own your own system, and therefore you reap all the incentives, which are significant. We are master electricians. we have an in-house solar engineer and our own crews. We're not hiring out. Believe it or not, there are people that travel the states going from solar company to solar company.
Mhm.
So, you think, okay, why would I want to do solar? Is it because you want to control your electric bill? Do you want to save money? Do you want to lessen the carbon footprint on the earth? Maybe it's all three.
Mhm.
So we also install solar storage batteries and electric car chargers. Now imagine this, your electric car, which you will get, we're all going to have electric cars. Imagine you
mind a hover. Can mine be a hovercraft?
Why not?
Flying cars. My husband said he was sure when he was a little boy, by the time he was the age he is now, there would be flying cars. He feels really ripped off and gypped.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty exciting myself.
I mean,
But who knows? Look how far we've come in just 25 years. So imagine charging your electric car with solar power. Now that's going green, right?
That's very cool, actually. Very cool, yes.
So I want to touch base on just a little bit about solar incentives. I will say that we have a very in-depth educational, instructional website where you can go on there and peruse and find out so much more.
Well, yeah, because all the state incentives are huge. And there's even a program, and I'll have links for this as well, for people who are totally outside of this region, but if they're scattered through the state and they're, say, maybe someone who's renting or already, doesn't have the ability to put solar panels on at all, or doesn't have, there's actually credits for them being participants in solar farms throughout the country. So that's another whole different, just from the green standpoint. So not in competition with what your company does, but there's this great opportunity. And there's actually a live webinar about it this afternoon, and I'll have some links in our comments below on how people can learn about that. And it's only for certain areas, but as they grow this, it'll be great for people like me who own a home to kind of someone like you and apply my solar panels or have them in the yard or have them wherever is appropriate. But if I don't own my home and I'm someone who's living in an apartment in a city, how fantastic for me to be able to get the credits from the state of Maryland, because Maryland has the program too, as a renter, and lower my bill, but not have to actually have physical panels anywhere. So it's very interesting, all of the stuff that they're doing in solar. But beyond solar, if you don't mind, I love some of the other programs that you guys have where you actually come and evaluate. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Oh yeah, I'll come back to the solar incentives. That's really, the last thing I wanted to talk about with solar, but I did just want to touch very briefly on that, but I can come back to that, but that's no problem. So we are the chosen contractor with SMECO, our local utility company, for two programs. One is called, it's an LED lighting program, and small businesses with commercial storefronts or buildings can say they will give a rebate of up to 80% for upgrading your LED lights. Yeah, so what happens is we come out and we do an audit. We count your lights, we evaluate it, we come back to you with a proposal and on the design, what we think would be the best lights for your situation. And that proposal is going to show you your return, your savings, your dollar savings, and your energy savings. And usually the return is within about a year. It's pretty amazing. So what happens is after that, you give us the go-ahead to go. We order the material. It's very streamlined, very efficient. We come in, we can usually knock it out in a day or two. And then after that, you sign off on, hey, good job. And we submit the paperwork, and at the end you get your bill. So we have saved, it's really a no-brainer for that program. There's another program for—
You gotta buy lights anyway. Why not buy a lighting system that ends up paying for itself within a year? Yeah. You're gonna have to do it anyway. And lighting is very sophisticated. Some of the things that are available in the world of lighting right now, as far as better for your health, more efficient, tied into security, tied into the shopping experience. I read an article on lighting going into some commercial retail spaces where it actually knew where you were in the store and would send you a coupon for the soccer ball in front of you. Like there's some high levels of sophistication in the retail commercial space for lighting. It's very fascinating.
It is. And the if a business is much larger, the building space is much larger, there is another program. The rebate is not as high. It's maybe around 25%, but the payback on those jobs are still, still significant, 5 years.
Right.
It's amazing that we're still finding businesses that have those big, I call them the big fat daddies, T12s in their business. And for those people that are jumping from T12 to the current LEDs, it's an amazing savings.
Very cool.
So the other program that we are the chosen contractor for St. Mary's, Calvert, and Lower Charles with SMECO is the Home Energy Improvement Program. We can't decide on how you pronounce it, hype or heap. We go back and forth, and you may hear me do that.
And it's got to have a sound.
Yeah, I change it all the time. And this program really can coincide with somebody that's really seriously thinking about solar, because what happens with this? SMECO will send out an energy advisor, and they're going to do a whole house complete picture.
Which is you, right? Are you the energy advisor on behalf?
We've been gone in and out. We have our own auditor, so we have done that under SMECO. The program has changed over the years, but for currently right now, well, they're not doing any audits at the time, but
of course, right.
So the energy advisor will come in and do a whole house energy picture at using scientifically based diagnostic tools. And usually what they find is there's air sealing issues. You need to improve that, or you need to add insulation. This program also, you can upgrade your HVAC. And the rebate for this is up to $7,500, which is pretty significant.
Yeah.
So what happens is the energy advisor through SMECO sends you a proposal. They will go over it. We also go over it with you. And then we come to you with a proposal to do the work. We're basically the contractor that's going to come in and do the work. And so for this, if you're thinking about solar, it would make sense to go ahead and upgrade, make sure you have the insulation you need, make sure you have the air sealing you need, make sure your HVAC system is working right. Now, we don't do the HVAC system. SMECO has their own partners.
Okay. I was going to ask if you did the HVAC for that. And then I was also going to ask, what about windows? Do you partner with people who do windows? Because I'm imagining sometimes the air is not as efficient when the house itself, when the windows aren't as strong.
Usually that's just some sealing, believe it or not. We don't find that too much. Okay. There's just some sealing that needs to be done.
So if I needed a new HVAC system anyway, it would make so much sense for me to go through this program and get that money to support the investment I'm going to have to make as a homeowner to put in the new item. Now, can I choose the HVAC if I already know what HVAC company I want to work with? Will you
they have a list on SMECO's website, which I'll give you the link, for that, of which contractors are approved. Basically, the contractor, most of them are on that list.
Okay. And we could probably at least steer that person in the direction of go talk to SMECO, see about getting on the list if we were really serious about wanting to work with someone.
And so there's many energy saving programs on SMECO's website, but we're, directly involved with two of them. So, and we also do design, install commercial LED signs, upgrade to that, or from the beginning. There are some rebates with that through SMECO that we walk people through. That's a longer process, but we do that.
I'm sure very worth it though, because that, I imagine a sign takes, it could potentially take a lot of energy that runs
Hmm.
all the time. It's outside, it's very large.
Hmm.
I imagine that's huge. That's very interesting. I didn't know they did that. Um, did you want to circle back and talk a little bit more?
Oh, yeah. One other point is that we can also, this is outside of the rebates, but we can also do an in-depth analysis on a commercial building, you know, for their energy use. And new construction, we're often called upon by code. They need to have a blower door test done, so we can handle that as well.
Cool.
Take care
Are
of
you
that.
guys doing any, or is this programmed? I mean, I guess they maybe not wouldn't even qualify, so it might be a question that sounds silly, but government buildings, are you like public schools and the
Oh,
lot?
yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you guys are,
We've
so that,
done
oh,
lighting.
cool.
Yeah, for schools, absolutely.
So I wonder how well that works with credit. I wonder if the government gives themselves credit back.
We've also done some grant work.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we're all over the map really now, going from, 3
Awesome.
crew to 20 employees all
Good
over the
job, you,
tri-state county.
Marcy. Good job, you.
So I think I helped. I hope I did. So solar incentives. So there's the $1,000 Maryland Energy Administration grant, and once the system is turned on, we help walk you through that process to get that check, usually within a couple months. There's the federal tax solar credit, and right this year it's 26%. Next year it'll go to 22%. And in 2022, it will go to 0 under current legislation. But what that means is it's not a check, it's not a refund, it's a credit. So if you owe, for instance, $10,000 in that tax year after your system's on, you're going to be able to roll that $10,000, you know, to be paid for with that credit, and it can carry over. It can go from year to year. So
Well, hopefully they'll extend it out further, but we'll see when.
you would think. And then there's something called solar renewable energy credits, and that is also called SRECs credits. I'm not going to go into great detail on that. That is on our website, but I'll suffice it to say that that's about $1,500 made in quarterly payments average in a year. And then there's also something else called net metering. So let's say in the summer you are just producing so much energy, right? More than you can use. And then you might use a little bit of it up in the winter, but let's say you have leftover credits and it's 6 cents per kilowatt. So the local utility company, SMECO, is going to pay you for those credits, and they do that like once a year. In addition, when you install your solar system, you do not have to pay tax on that. So what our website does, it goes into more details as far as the tax is concerned, and we always advise you to talk to your tax person.
Sure.
So let's see. We also offer financing for those that need it.
That's very
And
cool.
and back to the lighting for SMECO. If you qualify, and they determine who qualifies, we put the paperwork through. You can also roll what you owe, the customer portion, into your bill. So that works out great, So that's well as good as well. I do want to say that right now we are classified as essential, and we gathered things up very quickly and efficiently on how do we still work. So right now it's outside, like somebody needs parking lot lights, we're doing that, or if the building is empty, we're going in and doing that. Of course, we're practicing all the personal protection, and we have a whole safety program that we instilled for our crew. But we also have what we call no-touch solar. So we're able to do everything that we need to do to get the job started. Right now, we can't finish the job at the very end because the permit offices are closed. But we can get a lot done, and that's what we're promoting, No Touch Solar.
Oh, that's
So
wonderful.
yeah, so hopefully this gives you a good overview on the exciting work that Energy Select is doing, and hopefully shows you that we are passionate to help the community not only conserve energy, but again, produce energy. And please check out our website for a more in-depth look. And if you want to find out, you know, relating to your own personal situation, how solar can help improve your home, then, you know, please, the contact information will be there. Please contact me.
Yeah, and what I also want to say is this has given me just a good enough understanding to see all the value, but also know that how fabulous is it that you have an advisor to walk you through it? Because just like when I teach a LinkedIn class, people are like, oh, that was a lot of information, you know, so having that person like you to be able to walk them through it a step at a time and really evaluate their situation, really what's best for them, and advise them in that is, I think, priceless. Because even looking at everything on your website and even watching this little interview with us just goes to show how many options there are and how much is involved in the process. And it's a lot. I mean, there was a lot of things and terms even that I didn't 100% understand, but that's okay. Because if I were going to move forward on any of it, then I am going to call you and say, okay,
We are
what is this thing?
we are well practiced in making things easy, streamlined, efficient. And I'll also say right here that I'm also the office manager for the company. And hopefully what that tells you is I'm very organized. And again, an energy advisor.
I would also say, no matter where you're watching in the country, to reach out to, so SMECO is what's called a power cooperative. Those are not for profits and actually the community benefits. So if you're part of a cooperative, make sure you're checking out with them directly to see if there's businesses that collaborate with them on programs like this, so that if you're outside of Marci's territory and Energy Select's area, then you could get that help. Because these programs are often available in different formats and different forums throughout the country. So you have to see what's going on in your state and with your power company provider. But I always like to say that because we are kind of a global show as we are on the World Wide Web. But I think you could probably also, you know, do some Googling and or reach out to someone like Marci, because you may have a lot of contacts in this world, you know, that span, right? At least nationally. So beyond work and beyond business and with everything that, you know, I think this is an important topic to cover now based on what's happening in our world, because I want people to be able to save money in any way possible. And these are some great opportunities to make sure that you can make sure you're as efficient as possible going forward. And one of the things, just to jump in before I ask you some about your causes, to say is I'm also working with my clients to grow their sales, right, to make more money from a profit end, but also to reduce their costs. But we're doing it from looking at their monthly expenses and seeing what we can either negotiate down and or find contract compliance and billing errors and tariff charges and things that were incorrect from the past, and then gather those refunds. And it's a no result, no fee. So no cost, no harm, no foul if we don't find money. So that's another program that's available that you'll have information on. But enough about me. How about a little more about Marci? So one of the things I always like to ask about in Profound Professional interviews is, can you share with us something that touches your heart beyond all of our day-to-day grind? I mean, it's great to, your job is wonderful because it helps the planet, it helps people save money. It's almost a cause in its own, but I'm sure there are other things. I mean, obviously your theater and musical and growing organic and healthier food options. So there are the many facets of Marci, but what else is there that touches your heart?
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't say my grandchildren. Calvert Hospice I've been involved with many years, and
Good
there's a bit of a
organization.
personal story with that. My mother-in-law took very ill and had cancer, and this is, my gosh, this is going 30 years, a long time ago. Um, and I took care of her, and I had a 4-year-old and a 9-month-old, and I thought I was going to lose my mind. But hospice stepped in and they helped me. And ever since that, I've just been a great advocate for hospice. And when my father died with cancer, they were here for him as well. And the other, I could talk about Calvert Hospice for 30 minutes.
I tell you, hospice, I'm with you because it is very special people um, who are able to walk that journey with you as you say goodbye to people that you love.
Mhm, mhm,
Because I have had hospice support as well, and having those final minutes and realizing you have no control and goodbye is coming and you don't know exactly when is very tough.
mhm,
And when people have these remarkable, strong, powerful heroes that are able to help families through this process over and over again, like I can't imagine the kind of armor and the kind of superpower and superhuman hero they have to be in order to face this family after family, day after day, as a part of their chosen a career and profession. I mean, really, I have a great love for hospice as well.
yeah, they are anointed. That's how I like to think of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And another Calvert organization that is close to my heart is End Hunger Calvert.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
yeah, just love them.
Me too. Me too. Really great program, and they're stretching their wings. I think they're stretching far beyond Calvert. Like I
Hmm.
think they, from what I've heard, they're doing so many other things and building kind of a bigger picture to really end hunger.
Hmm.
Without the Calvert being a part of that, beyond and beyond, not taking it away, but they're doing so much. They're a fantastic organization. So, and we're both dream queens.
Yes, yes, yes.
And that is a great organization that is very heart-centered, profound women professionals in business, supporting young girls with a leadership training program that has a curriculum founded by Aaron Lewis, and it has the 4 pillars of success. We help the young girls in high school know themselves, dream big, overcome obstacles, and take action. So I'll make sure the Dream Queen link is in the article below, because now that we're facing what we're facing, every single chapter is virtual, but we do have an ongoing national, or actual global, virtual chapter that runs regularly. So even when things reset themselves and the world heals a little bit,
Hmm.
there'll be a virtual chapter available, so no matter where you are. If you'd like to be with other heart-centered women who like to network and collaborate totally for free, the only thing we ever ask you to give other for time, treasure, and talent is towards this young girls program that's in high schools throughout. Right now it's throughout our state. I know that they're growing, and there's seeds planted and some future growth for other places. So eventually this will be a national curriculum during a lunchtime hour to support young girls. Anything else? Like, that's a lot. Like, I don't know how you do so much, but
Well, actually, I do want to say just a couple of things, if you don't mind.
not at all.
Um, so every morning, I pause and contemplate in my prayer that day that I would, and I started this years ago at the cemetery when I worked there, that I would be a balm, that I would do no harm, and that I would be a blessing to someone. Now, I'm not saying I do that every day. I'm telling you, I'm sure that I don't, and I'm sure that I get distracted by the messes that might happen in the day, and maybe I forget to do that. But it is something that I really work on, because I believe that if you focus on yourself and your own problems too long or too much, your world becomes very small. And if you focus on encouraging and helping others, your world becomes much larger. And that's just something I wanted to share. The more people that can do that, practice that, the better. And the other thing I wanted to say is just what I've learned with this difficult times we're all experiencing now. I mean, the whole world is experiencing with COVID-19. It's something that I knew about the human experience, but it's just really, really been brought home to me, like really at the forefront of how humans are. We're so innovative and creative. I mean, just look at all the things that are happening, coming up, creative things that people are doing. And I thought about this a bit, and I thought, okay, so we humans are adaptive, we're resilient, we can endure. And as I was thinking about this, I thought, my mom used to say something to me. I don't know where she got it. I haven't looked it up, but she would always say, necessity is the motherhood of invention. And I'm really, really seeing that in these times, even just from work. I mean, just everybody scrambling and getting it all together and getting home and setting up and still, having their work life. I've seen people rise up. I've seen strangers and in my company and coworkers and friends and family and even myself, adapt and endure. This is not an easy thing for anybody. And then for those that can't endure, literally just cannot endure, and they cannot adapt, I'm witnessing, seeing so many helping others, encouraging others, and reaching out a hand to others. And I find that personally very inspiring, very inspiring. So I wanted to leave with something positive. So
I think that's fantastic. And you're right. What we're facing is tough. And I was thinking about this yesterday. I looked up, I was doing some research for something I had to put together for another project. And it turns out in February of 2020, our country's unemployment was in the 3% range. And as of the 19th of April, reported by the Washington Post in conjunction with the Department of Labor, we're over 13% in unemployment. And then I heard another stat, and I don't know the source for this one, but that very soon, within a month, they believe 1 in 4 households will have someone in that household affected and displaced from work based on what we're facing. And I was thinking about just that, about how our country has endured so many hardships, and it made me think about 9/11, truthfully, when I was seeing all those flags drive by in the backs of people's cars and just hanging everywhere, where as a country, we pull together in an amazing way. And I don't usually, I'm very respectful of all kinds of beliefs and people's personal spiritual journey. And I don't usually do prayer on these, but when you were talking about what you do, it's very much like a prayer of Jabez that I pray in the morning. And I try to do it every single day. Some days it's many, many times a day it comes out of my mind. And then other days I miss it and go, oh, I needed that prayer to get today. But it is, Lord, bless us indeed. And let's say this prayer over our whole country. Bless us indeed. Open the windows of heaven. Pour out your blessings upon us. Expand our territory for the glory of your kingdom, so that we could help and embrace each other. Put your hand upon us. Hold us in the palm of your hand. Keep us far from evil and evil far from us, that we might not cause one another harm. And
amen.
That made me really, I mean, what you were speaking of almost sounded like some threads in the tapestry of that prayer.
Yes.
So that's my prayer and our prayer for our country today. And I would thank you to like, share, and comment. We hope that we've helped you in some way. We will have all the resources and information below. So like, share, and comment.
Absolutely.
Share
this has been a pleasure. Pleasure.
And if we can help, like I said, put something, reach out to us. You can direct message me. All of our contact information will be there. We're being very creative to see how we can support, feature, and care for one another so that we come through not just surviving, but thriving and stronger than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you
Right.
for your time today, Marci. And thank you all for watching. Until the next Profound Professionals, which will actually be next week. I usually have the day, but it's Saturday, so I'm not that organized. We'll see you then. So
All
keep
right.
up.
God bless you, Jessica. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.